Coming up on XTERRA Adventures, we hit the waves at Waikiki Beach for a look at a rarely seen form of surfing. Explore the underwater world off the southwestern coast of Maui. Catch the hot off-road action at the XTERRA South Africa Championship. And later, surf the giant waves at world-famous Waimea Bay on Oahu's famed North Shore. It's all coming up on XTERRA Adventures. This segment is brought to you by Maui Gem Sunglasses. Each year at Hawaii's world-famous Waikiki Beach, the Duke's Ocean Fest hosts a wide variety of water events. One of the most visual and popular sports featured is tandem surfing. As a sport that combines style, grace, and strength, tandem surfing has been described as ice skating on water. It's a highly sophisticated form of wave riding that includes a man and a woman on a single surfboard performing a series of technical lifts.
A lot of people don't understand surf, but they understand snowboarding or snow skiing, and I compare that to snow, but except our snow is moving all the time. It's like running away from an avalanche and doing tricks at the same time with your partner, up in the air and negotiating every twists and turns like moguls that move all the time, so it's always, the variables is always there.
Thanks to a world tour and a contest like the Duke's Ocean Fest, tandem surfing is enjoying a revival. But while the sport is beautiful to watch, it requires teamwork and communication to pull off the highest scoring rides.
I enjoy just about every form of surfing that there is, and by far tandem surfing is the most difficult. The more difficult the lift, the higher the score. So of course the judges are looking for the higher scoring lifts, and only the people that are actually attempting those are the ones that are on the podium.
To me, holding a tandem move that's static is not as challenging as something that's dynamic and in motion. So for me, it's like, doing the helicopter is easy doing one, but when you start pulling off twos and threes, it's more dynamic, because you have a girl that's really breakdancing on the back of your back on a moving wave the whole time.
My biggest job is to stay tight in my body when I'm in position so that I feel more weightless to him, so the energy goes right through him into the board.
You need to have a good rhythm with your partner. Your partner needs to trust you. You have to communicate, because I'm looking at the wave, I'm looking where I need to turn and looking at the next section, and she's concentrating on the lift. So sometime I would have to make a command or a call that, not yet, wait, let me get around the section, or get into the lift before the section. So it's really tricky. You need to be together as a team. You need to stand up together, paddle together, communicate together, have a rhythm together. And practice to me is pretty important, but we love it. And people, when they watch tandem, it's a whole mind-blowing experience for people who haven't seen tandem before.
With the large surfboard and often unpredictable conditions, safety is always a top concern in tandem surfing, and it takes skill to minimize the sport's inherent dangers.
We're using a much bigger board. We have two people on the board. She's much higher than a normal surfer. She's, 6 to 8, maybe 10 foot up in the air. And some places we go over shallow reefs, and some waves are really hollow, so the risk factor is very high. So what I try to do is, if I feel something going wrong, I try to push her well away from the board, or I'll fall with her away from the board, because really good injury falling on the board or falling on the reef. So there's a whole variety of things you got to look out for, but the risk factor is much higher than this normal surfing.
Be prepared for the unpredictable, you know, and be really loose and kind of one with the ocean. So, you know, on that level, every single guy that's out there and stuff, when you ask them what's in their head, they work out routines, and we all do, and stuff like that on land, so it becomes second nature. But when you get in the water, you just let it go, you know, and be one with the ocean.
Duke Kahanamoku himself made tandem surfing popular in these very same Waikiki waves. And this Ocean Fest event is a fitting tribute for the man known as the ambassador of surfing and Hawaii's greatest waterman ever.
The Duke Fest embodies everything about Duke the man himself, about aloha, about the spirit of competition, but it's also about the spirit of friendship and love and being able to get along with your friends and pass along, you know, your talent and your abilities and show other people how to do what you do, because we've both taken so much enjoyment out of this sport that it just seems so normal and natural. We want to share it. So being in front of the people here, sharing it, I think that's exactly what Duke was all about. But I think he was a fierce competitor as well, so we get to mix both of those things. It's wonderful.
Sharing that fun, sharing that carefree, sharing that skill, sharing that knowledge. That's the greatest treasures that we have, and it's shared around the world. And Duke was our ambassador that shared the rest of the world because he was our Olympian. His legacy is existing all over the world.
XTERRA Adventures is presented by Outrigger Resorts. Find Outrigger. Tea Tree, eco-minded hair care infused with natural botanicals. Discover the magic of Tea Tree. And by the Hawaiian Islands. Visit GoHawaii.com, Hawaii's official tourism site.
At Paul Mitchell, we believe in the beauty of giving back, protecting our forests and waterways, feeding families in need through sustainable community gardens, and ensuring that our products are always cruelty-free. Big or small, there's beauty in making a difference every single day. That's what connects all of us together in a deep, meaningful way. Join us. Live beautifully.
Many of Maui's visitors don't get an opportunity to experience all of the natural beauty the island has to offer, since much of it is hidden, below the surface and deep underwater. A great way to experience Maui's underwater treasures is by taking a scuba diving lesson.
Kind of aired one side of your head a little bit. Okay, nice deep breath.
Sessions begin with a detailed lecture on all the required scuba practices and equipment.
Because if you're breathing okay, and your ears are okay, and your mask is okay, you're gonna be okay.
Then students move to the pool to put their lessons to the test in a safe and practical environment.
It was my very first time scuba diving. I was pretty apprehensive about the breathing underwater part. I didn't know quite what to expect and kind of tested out first before actually taking the plunge. It's very cool.
No matter what their level is, whether they're really gung-ho to go diving or really kind of apprehensive, we take everybody at their own pace, nice and slow.
Once they pass the test, it's time to hit the ocean. Wailea on Maui's southwestern shore is a great place to experience your first scuba dive. The shallow reefs provide an excellent place to see the countless variety of fish and sea life that inhabit the Maui coastline.
We saw tons of different kinds of fish, boxfish, we saw Moorish idol, a couple different kinds of turtles. Swimming with the turtles was pretty amazing. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around being underwater, but when you do it, it's pretty awesome.
Not only that, but there's so many different kinds of coral. Like there's cauliflower coral, there's cap coral, which coral actually grows on top of the rocks and things like that. And it comes in wide varieties of color.
Like finding hidden treasure, first-time scuba divers take home a truly special experience from their Maui vacation, with memories that last a lifetime.
It's amazing. It's another world under there. There's so much color going on, so much activity. I haven't seen anything like that close before, so it was great.
I think the greatest joy that you have when you're a scuba diver is taking someone who you think might not even want to try it, and then they try it, and when they come back, they have a smile from ear to ear. It's a life-changing experience. It's just so incredible.
Escape Ordinary with Outrigger Resort's signature experiences. Discover an array of amenities and programs to immerse in the unique sense of place of Outrigger's beachfront destinations. Enjoy a heartfelt local greeting and refreshments to welcome you on arrival. Participate in a variety of complimentary cultural activities to interact with the local community. And every guest receives a locally inspired gift presented upon departure. To learn more, visit outrigger.com/escapeordinary.
The ocean, the beaches, the scenery, the action. Visit gohawaii.com/Maui today.
When you put on a pair of Maui Jim sunglasses, the world begins to look different. Colors are more vivid. Contrast is clearer. Details are crisper. Wherever your vision leads you, beauty follows. With polarized lenses that eliminate glare and enhance color, Maui Jim sunglasses won't change the world. They'll change the way you see it. Color, clarity, detail. Maui Jim.
With over 2,000 off-road warriors battling it out in the town of Grabau, the XTERRA South Africa Championship has earned the distinction as being the biggest XTERRA event in the world. This event is the third and final race in the XTERRA South African Series and also serves as a qualifier for the XTERRA World Championship in Maui later in the season. The XTERRA South Africa Championship begins with a 1.5-kilometer swim stage. After the swim, racers have a short sprint into transition, where they exchange their swim caps for their mountain bikes. The signature leg of this event is the 28-kilometer mountain bike ride. Racers are challenged with varying trail conditions, including several gravel fire roads, rough Jeep track, and technical single track. climbing legs and descending skills are a must here, as the bike course is anything but flat. When athletes complete the bike course, they head to transition, where they park their mountain bikes and head out on a thrilling 12.5-kilometer run. As with the rest of the course here, the run leg is a true and appropriate test for a world-class XTERRA event. Whether a pro or amateur, all who complete this grueling XTERRA South Africa course can claim victory in one of the most beautiful spots on Earth. Paul Mitchell is a proud supporter of XTERRA and the Live More lifestyle, sharing in the belief in being good stewards of the earth and the environment. Paul Mitchell and XTERRA have partnered with Reforest Action to plant more than 750,000 trees by the end of 2019. Plant a tree for free and help build a forest today. Visit reforestaction.com and enter the code XTERRAME. XTERRA Triathlons. Try an adventure off-road. At XTERRAPlanet.com. XTERRA Adventures is presented by Outrigger Resorts. Find Outrigger. Tea Tree. Eco-minded hair care infused with natural botanicals. Discover the magic of Tea Tree. And by XTERRA. Live more and find your next challenge at XTERRAPlanet.com. The famed North Shore of Oahu, home to world-famous surf spots like Pipeline and Sunset Beach. This coastline is surfing's mecca, but when it comes to big wave riding, there is no break in the world more respected and more feared than Waimea Bay.
Waimea Bay was the beginning of modern big wave surfing. It definitely got started in Makaha, but over here, Waimea Bay is where it was raised to the next level and where the greats, did their stuff, Everyone from Greg Knoll, obviously to Eddie Aikau. There's just a really good presence here. The Hawaiian energy, or mana in Hawaiian, is very powerful. There's this power and essence here, and when the waves are on and, everyone's here, there's just this aura.
Each winter, the surfing world keeps tabs on the winter swells that hit Waimea Bay in hopes that the conditions will allow for the running of the Quicksilver in memory of Eddie Aikau Invitational. The contest, held in memory of legendary Hawaiian waterman Eddie Aikau, requires waves that are at least 20 feet on the Hawaiian scale, which means the waves must have faces in the 40 to 45-foot range.
Well, the main thing is the height requirement. I've heard that Eddie knew there was a big difference between 18 feet and 20 feet, and it's not easy for those of us who don't ride that, but he knew Waimea Bay like the back of his hand, and there's a very big difference between anything less than 20 and 20 plus.
We don't want to run it when it's really dangerous and it's going to hurt somebody. That kind of wave would be closing out. We don't want anybody to get really hurt. So having the waves being consistent, 20 feet or bigger, it's a lot of variables that needs to line up.
The winter of 2015-16 provided some of the most epic surf to ever hit the Hawaiian Islands. Fueled by El Nino, a giant storm was forecasted to hit Waimea Bay on February 10, 2016. Media outlets got the word out that the eddy was on. Thousands flocked to the bay to be able to get the best view of the contest. But on the morning, Mother Nature had other ideas, and the swell, while still of decent size, did not provide the surf needed to run the contest. Since the contest had only run 8 times in 30 years, many felt like another year would pass without the eddy being held. But a mere 2 weeks later, El Nino would provide a rare second chance to run the contest. On February 25, 2016, the eddy not only went, it was considered by many as one of the most epic days ever at Waimea Bay. 28 of surfing's big wave warriors had Waimea Bay all to themselves. The competition was stiff, with surfing legends like Ross Clark Jones, Kelly Slater, and Shane Dorian in the mix. But coming out victorious was the North Shore's very own John Florence, who dazzled the crowd with some unbelievable rides.
Oh, I went in today just excited just to be a part of this event and be surfing it. I was so nervous. I was like, oh gosh, I just got to get through this day and hopefully get a couple waves. And I was riding my bike down this morning in the dark, and just the energy of how many people were parked all the way down the street. I've lived here my whole life and I haven't seen it like that. And walking down the beach, like Uncle Clyde was saying, like people were just like screaming, and the energy was just so crazy. And I've never been a part of an event like this, and it's definitely the highlight of my life for sure. And